I used to love quiet evenings. You know, the kind where the world just seems to hold its breath. But now, every time the house falls silent, I get a knot in my stomach, because silence was the first sign that something was off that night. I had just moved into a small 2-bedroom rental in a sleepy Indiana suburb. It was the kind of place with cracked sidewalks and porch swings that hadn't swung in decades. I was working night shifts at the hospital and doing overtime to pay off loans. So I wasn't home much, and when I was, I just wanted to crash. It was a Thursday when it started. I came home at around 3:30 a.m., bone tired. The street was empty. Not even the usual possum rustling through my trash cans. I unlocked my door, tossed my keys into the dish, and immediately noticed it. Water. Just a thin trail of it across the hardwood, snaking down from the bathroom. At first, I figured I'd left the faucet dripping, but the light was off, and the door was shut. I opened it slowly. The bathtub was full, up to the rim. The water was warm, steaming, like someone had just filled it moments before. I hadn't used the tub in days. I stood there for a long minute, just staring at the still surface. There were no bubbles, no scent of soap, no sign of any water splashing, just a perfect, unmoving bath. I reached in. The water felt oddly oily. I drained it, cleaned up the floor, and chalked it up to a plumbing glitch. Maybe the hot water heater surged, maybe the tap was faulty, something dumb. I was too tired to argue with myself. But the next night, it happened again. Same thing. Full tub. Warm water. This time, though, I noticed something else. There were faint scratches on the porcelain, just under the surface. Like fingernails had scraped at the edges. I drained it again, my unease growing, and started keeping the bathroom door locked. 2 nights later, I came home to find the door unlocked, the tub empty. But the mirror fogged up. There were words written in it. Still warm. My stomach dropped. I lived alone. I tore through the house, closet, attic, basement. Nothing. No sign of forced entry. I called the police. They checked the place, shrugged, and told me to install cameras if I was that worried. Probably just a prank, they said. Maybe an ex. Maybe I did it in my sleep. Maybe. I set up cameras. One in the hallway, one in the bathroom. I went to work. That night, around 2:42 a.m., the hallway cam picked up motion. A man. He was barefoot, tall, pale. Hair stuck flat against his head like he'd just come out of a shower. His face was hidden, turned down the whole time. He walked straight to the bathroom. Then he closed the door behind him. He never came back out. I called the cops again. When they arrived, they found no one. The house was empty. Every door was locked. The windows were still shut, untouched from the inside. But the tub, it was full again. And this time there was a single pale strand of hair floating on the surface. I quit the hospital job that week, started staying at a friend's place across town. But the story doesn't end there, because about a month later, I got a call from a detective. She asked if I could come down to ID someone. They'd arrested a suspect connected to a series of home invasions in the area. He was living in the crawl spaces of people's homes, hiding inside walls, bathing when they left, eating their food without a trace. showed me his photo, my blood turned cold. I recognized the shirt. I thought I lost it months ago. A plain gray hoodie I liked sleeping in. He'd been living in my house for weeks. When they searched his hideout, they found a collection of women's belongings. Not just mine, several others. Jewelry, hair, toothbrushes, even a phone. But what disturbed me most was what they found on the device. Videos, all taken while women were in the bath. He never touched them, never made a sound. He just stood in the doorway,